What's up, guys and gals? Seven here. Today I'm bringing you all along on a journey to learn about and watch Jetix shows. It'll be the overall view of all Jetix shows, even the ones that were just a part of the block or only in one spot of the world. I'm going over all of it, to an extent. I am not going to go over every show as it would drive me crazy, as there are a handful of anime that premiered way before Jetix, and trying to find an episode between 2004 and 2010 would be torture. Yet I'll attempt to go over some of the shows that happened before 2004. Now I want you all to strap in and get ready for a long video. Before I start though, I'm going to tell you how this will all work. I'm going to look for the series that are on the wikis of Jetix. I'll watch through a handful of episodes. If the series catches my attention, I might watch through one season. Then I'll give my thoughts on it to you guys. If I can't find any episodes of the show I'm looking for, I'll just tell you the name of it and show pictures if I can find any. Now, obviously, before I get into anything of the shows, I should really explain what Jetix was. Jetix was a children's television network and block created back in January of 2004. Yet the network didn't start to air shows until February 14th of 2004. It was released in America on Toon and Disney to compete with the Toonami block and Cartoon Network. Jetix originated from the Saban Entertainment Library, and if you're a Power Rangers fan, like I am, you know who Saban is. Yet, quick lesson, Saban is the original creator of Power Rangers, starting with Mighty Morphin, which aired on Fox Kids. Hey, that's in our block, I'll be going over that in the future. So, that's enough of Saban history. Either way, Jetix was run all over the world, as either a block or a full-on channel. The shows range from well-known to unknown, or lost to time. There is only one more thing I want to go over before I finally get into discussing Jetix. I am not going over Jetix Play, mainly because I am already going over so many shows and this video is going to be at least 30 minutes long, and I don't want to get ahead before this video is done. Finally, let's get to the shows. And starting off, we have the show The Tofus, which aired from September 6th, 2004 till February 13th, 2005. Only gained 2 seasons with 26 episodes in total, 52 segments. Fabrice D. Costel and Bertrand Victor are the creators of it. I'm hoping I said that right. The show is meant to be an animated sitcom that focuses on environmental movement. Well, the show's premise can be done right. This show is not great. Most characters are 2D and have only one characteristic. The voice acting isn't great. The animation and theme song are the only saving graces of the show, making me at least not completely hate it. I will say someone could possibly enjoy this show, yet I really didn't.
Mommy, this is horrible. All this black is going to bring me bad luck. In my condition, I couldn't even say my lines on stage. It would be the biggest embarrassment in my life.
If someone enjoys the show, great. It's just not my cup of tea. I just figured I'd bring the show up. Digimon didn't even have a season that premiered on Jetix in 2004 at all. So I really could not find it anywhere, and even if I could, it wasn't in the right time frame. So I really apologize.
Save Sugar Zoom City from the evils of the Skeleton King.
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go was aired from September 18th till 16th, 2006, getting 4 seasons with 52 episodes. The creator of the show, Sirio Nili, it has a variety of genres. Some of those are superhero, action, adventure, and comedy drama.
Go, Super
Robot.
Yeah, team.
Hyper. Go.
Nobody said monkey.
The show is really good. Something I would recommend to people who like parody superhero shows. Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, that's a mouthful, has a great voice acting, great music, great action, great characters. It basically has it all. If the animation is lacking a bit, it is inspired by anime, yet a simplistic and funny kind of anime. While this show seems to be more on the silly side, it does have good action, good heart, and pretty good lessons for a kids show. The show is what I would call a classic. Power Rangers Dino Thunder to Jungle Fury aired on Jetix, yet I have a couple issues with this. Because despite me liking Power Rangers, I don't want to go over all the seasons in this vid. I'll be going over every Power Rangers season at one point, so there isn't a full point in going over all the 5 seasons here, no matter how much I want to. I will show a clip from Dino Thunder, though, for the Power Rangers fans that can't wait to see me talk about it. W.I.T.C.H, or W.I.T.C.H, was aired from December 18th, 2004 till December 23rd, 2006, getting only 2 seasons and 52 episodes that are 22 minutes. The creators of the show are Elizabetta Nome, Alessandro Barbucchi, and Barbara Canepa. I am hoping I said all those right, I apologize. Or rather, the comic, which started as a comic that started in April of 2001, later adapted into this cartoon, which is a comedy, action drama, fantasy, and magical girl show.
Okay. Alrighty.
I honestly love this show. Yet just like the rest of the shows I'm going to watch the vid, I only watched 5 episodes. Over these 5 episodes though, I am hooked. There are so many amazing things about the show. The intro is catchy, the animation is anime-inspired and done insanely well. The voice acting is pretty good for most characters. The characters are all different in their own ways and don't feel 2D, even though I'm only 5 episodes in. And my god, the storytelling. The storytelling feels exactly like an anime. It has an odd premise, it has a complicated backstory for the villain, and more. Despite being only 5 episodes in, I am for sure saying that I'm coming back to this series to watch it in its entirety. I hope you all do the same. And before I get called gay for liking a magical girl show, it's basically Power Rangers anime and cartoon superhero shows all rolled into one. Get Ed was aired from September 19th, 2005 to April 24th, 2006. Getting a sad 1 season and 26 episodes. It's created by Andy Knight. It is an action, superhero, sci-fi, and comedy drama. In my opinion, as the wiki for it doesn't have a genre. This show is right down the middle. I only watched 5 episodes, but from what I've watched, the show is pretty average. Not surprisingly, it is another action show on Jetix 2, which isn't a horrible thing, but that's what most of the shows have been so far. 2 main characters were more than flat and 2D. The rest just had their starting personalities. Animation is 3D, CGI, and doesn't look too bad most of the time. Voice acting is pretty great, and music was just okay. I'll probably return to the show at one point, as it isn't too long and it isn't too bad.
Ed, cover my back.
I'm on it.
DNA deliveries at your service. Thanks for using DNA.
ATOM, or Alpha Teens on Machines, was aired from August 27th, 2005 till April 3rd, 2007. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes. Why is 52 episodes such a special number? Anyways, it was created by Irene Ducerix and Paul Patrick Duvall. It is an action, sci-fi, and superhero show. The show is just like Witch. I recommend it. It's anime-inspired, it has unique animation style, decent music, pretty good storytelling, and the characters have small but noticeable depth in the 5 episodes I watched. The best way I can describe this show is Witch, but for the boys. Yet, honestly, I can see a boy liking both Witch and ATOM. It's kind of like me. I like both of these shows for certain reasons, for which I like the characters, the interesting set pieces, the anime-inspired animation, and the story. For ACOM, I like the action scenes, characters, tons of anime-inspired animation, and the unique look. Yet a huge plus from this series is having Tom Kenny voice act as one of the main characters. But wait, not just one, he voices two. He voices a hero and a villain. This is another show you would have to look out for an evaluation of, as I will for sure be returning to this show.
How about a swim? Oh, you two are going down. Way down.
Yo, cockroach! Who told you the six-eyed freak thing was a good look? I'm telling you, you've been punked.
Do you really think this is the best time to insult the bad guy?
Trust me, I have a plan.
Monster Warriors aired from March 18th, 2006 till July 26th, 2008. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes again. It was created by Wilson Conybeare. It is an action, comedy, drama, sci-fi, and superhero show. Or at least that's what I can make of it. This show is just, it's so dumb, but I love it. Unlike the Tofus from the start of this video, this show is dumb but praises it. It is meant to be a crossover between two shows parodied, Power Rangers and Ghostbusters. Yet I find the show great, as it is just an interesting character lineup. It has good music and a really good setup for how the monsters exist in the world. This show has pretty poor visuals, the only good acting is from the main 4 heroes in my opinion, and it just doesn't care how it's seen. They had fun with how they made this, which makes me enjoy it 10 times more. Yet again, this is a show I'd love to come back to, if not just to see more of the interestingly bad CGI made creatures.
That is a really big bug. It's not a bug, it's an arachnid.
Get under the car!
What is that thing?
On every planet in the galaxy, you'll find the Flux, a powerful, magical...
Galactic Football aired from June 3rd, 2006 till October 27th, 2011. It had 3 seasons and 78 episodes. It was created by Augustus Imaginaticon. I know I didn't say that right, I apologize. It is an action fiction, science fiction, and sports fiction show. The most I can say for this show can just be gotten from the title. It's soccer, but in space. Now, that's not to rip on the show, because it's honestly pretty good. Only half of the show is soccer, and the other half is actual story. It's also one of the very few shows I've seen that has clips between 2D and 3D animation constantly. The good stuff about the show is the 2D animation, the story, the music, and most of the characters. Yet there are a couple issues with the show that I did overlook a bit while I was watching. Those were the voice acting, which ranges from bad to good, and the 3D animation, which can range from bad to passable. I am going to say I might return to the show to evaluate it just based on the story. I don't really care about soccer or football, the aspect of it at all. Yet I know a lot of people are fans of this show, judging by how it got 3 whole seasons, so if you're a fan of it, that's great. I'll just enjoy the bubble of ignoring the 3D animation.
Okay, I've been better. Hey, they're even more impressive on the field.
Also, am I the only one to notice that this is just Mario Strikers but space themed? No? Just me? Okay. Shuriken School was aired from August 20th, 2006 till December 22nd, 2007. It had a measly 26 episodes. It was created by Emilio Gallego and Jesus Gallego. It was an action and comedy show. At least to me, Shuriken School wasn't horrible by any means, but there are very few episodes that I found. The animation is very cartoony and takes some inspiration from anime. The story doesn't really exist as it isn't episodic, and the voice acting is good, but there's a very tiny cast for the American version. One of the cast members is Nathan Kress, or the actor for Freddy on iCarly. This show was pretty fun to watch, but it really wasn't for me. The only good takeaway is that I can say that the slapstick in this show is good for all ages, as there are a ton of slapstick comedy moments in this show.
For lunch and breakfast and the day before that and the day before that. Never fear. I, the fantabulous and amazing Jimmy B, will make these rice balls magically disappear. Pay close attention. Nothing up my sleeve. As I say the magic words, the rice ball will vanish. Alakazam, Alakadabra, Alibaba. Here you go, No.
Oban Star-Racers aired from June 5th till December 11th, 2006. It had only 26 episodes. It was created by Seven Yipman Ethel. It is an action, adventure, and science fantasy. This show is just Star Wars pod racing, but made into an anime and given an actual story. From what I saw, the animation was amazing, the voice acting was great, the characters are interesting and have depth, and the story, while simple, is weird, but good. I even purposely stopped watching 3 episodes in. Not because it was a bad show, but because I got hooked on the anime super easily. I can get hooked 2 to 3 episodes into an anime, sometimes even a bit more. But just saying as of right now, I am hooked on this show. I will for sure be coming back to watch it, as there aren't more episodes coming out for it anymore, and it's just a simple, fun thing to watch.
I won't allow it! Not in a million years! Now get out!
I'll also need your mechanics, Stan and Koji.
Huh? Impossible! Stan is my right arm and Koji is my left!
Precisely. It's a matter of utmost importance.
Then my arms are your arms. Yes!
Pucca aired from September 18, 2006 till October 31st, 2019. It had 3 seasons and 65 episodes, 193 segments. It was created by Bo Gyung Kim and Calvin Kim. It is an action-adventure, martial arts, and slapstick comedy. One of the longest-running shows of all the shows on from Jetix, here is Pucca. This is one of the weirdest shows I've ever watched, yet that's not a horrible thing. The animation is cutesy and a little funny, the voice acting is decent when it's needed, and it works well as a small thing if you want to watch if you're bored. I will not be revisiting this series at any point, but it is one I think I'll watch every once in a while. It is a bit funny for what it is in my opinion. If you don't like slapstick, stay away from the show. But if you love slapstick, or at least like it like I do, check out this series at any time. Plus, episodes are only 6 minutes long usually.
Brother and sister save the day.
Yin Yang Yo aired from August 26, 2006 till April 18, 2009. It had 2 seasons and 65 episodes, 104 segments. It was created by Bob Boyle, the same person who created W.I.T.C.H. It is an action, science fiction, comedy, and martial arts show. The show is honestly very good. Another I can already recommend. The characters are very funny most of the time and well done. The music is good even if the intro is not the greatest in my opinion. The animation is very good and detailed, and the small amount of story is nice to have, even if it's just from the first few episodes. I don't think there could be a reason not to watch this show flat out. I think everyone should at least give this show a chance if they like cartoons. If you guys haven't seen the show before, please at least look up parts of the show. Maybe you'll find enjoyment out of it like me.
The heck with stupid Herschel?
The heck with stupid Herschel! Stupid, 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 stupid. Stupid!
Old secret society. With my new friends, our mission is to battle troublemaking aliens.
Monster Buster Club aired from October 29, 2007 till November 14, 2009. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes. It was created by Vincent Chalvin Demercy and David Mitchell. It is an action-adventure, comic science fiction, police procedural, science fantasy, and Monster of the Week show. The show is... it's a mix of a lot of shows. Power Rangers, Danny Phantom, and Jimmy Neutron. Yet worse in so many ways. The animation is odd and not great for its time at all. The characters feel one-note and bland. And this show feels slow on creativity, with the aliens being the only things that are creative. Everything else is not. It is just a copy and paste of 3 other shows. Power Rangers team up, but without showing how they got their powers, / how they started, which would have been interesting. Danny Phantom, but without the interesting characters or powers. Jimmy Neutron, with smart kid trying to live a normal life. Most of the time. Personally, I didn't like this show. I was bored with 3 episodes I watched. I couldn't sit through them. Yes, I know all these shows are made for kids, but I don't think kids would have been able to sit through some parts of the show. While some would focus on the action. If you like the show, that it's great. Just don't give me hate for not liking your show.
Be right back. Excuse me.
Huh?
Coming through.
Huh?
Sorry. Excuse me.
Back off! Stop pushing!
You okay? I'm fine, but I didn't get it.
Get what?
Well, that's the thing. I don't even know.
Combo Niños aired and ended in August of 2008. I can't find any info about how long it exactly ran. It had 26 episodes. It was created by Carlo Di Boniti, Caroline Pierce, and Fabienne Gambriel. I'm really hoping I said all that right, and I apologize. It is an action show. Combo Niños is an interesting but fun show. It was originally aired in Latin America and has a lot of love and care put into it to make it look like the show takes place in Latin America. It is a very young kids show, but I find it pretty good. I could recommend it to anyone that just likes small, fun cartoons to watch. The characters and animation are very lively, the story is very nice and simple, still interesting. The main characters' powers are creative too. There's so much to actually like about the show, I can't discuss it all here. And just like other shows, or at least some of the other shows, in this video, I both recommend it and will probably go over it in a full evaluation.
Serio! Am I glad to see you. Now, help me destroy the mural so that Loco Divino Frog doesn't get out. Serio, snap out of it. Help me destroy the mural.
Okay.
Kid vs. Cat aired from October 25th, 2008 till June 4th, 2011. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes, 101 segments. It was created by Rob Bottiglier. I said that wrong, I know it. It is a science fiction, science fantasy, slapstick comedy, and surreal comedy show. Another show that falls into the realm of classic, in my opinion. It has a simple but cute animation. It has decently made characters. Its voice acting is very well done. Dare say more. This show is just dumb fun. It's a show where you can turn your brain off and watch it. The best way I can explain this show to someone who hasn't watched it before is Tom and Jerry, but with a story. If you've seen this show before, tell me in the comment section below if you agree with the statement.
Let's see who you belong to, Mr. Cat. Whoa, this is one weird collar.
Jimmy Two Shoes, or Jimmy Cool in Europe, aired from February 13th, 2009 till July 13th, 2011. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes, 104 segments. It was created by Edward Kay and Sean Scott. It is a slapstick comedy, anime sitcom, surreal horror, and urban fantasy. Jimmy Two Shoes, from what I've watched, was pretty good. It is a mix of decent characters, decent story, and some funny moments. I don't know what else to say. It is a good show, and I'll probably be watching more of it down the line, due to how I like slapstick. If you like slapstick and basically a kid goes to hell show, then you'll enjoy this.
Okay, how about number 13? Bird watching. What? What do you want? Stop staring!
destroy stuff?
Before I head to the next show, the reason why I say this is a kids go to hell show is because the original demo/pitch idea was aimed for an older audience, and the original Jimmy 2 Shoes had the location of hell. No, there was no actual scene demo, as it was not aired, sadly.
The dragon is power. Once they were our equals.
Dragon Booster was aired from October 23rd, 2004 till December 16th, 2006. It had 3 seasons and 39 episodes. It was created by Rob Travellino and Kevin Moorer. It is an action-adventure, science fantasy comedy drama show. Don't make me look at it anymore. That's all I can say about this. I love the designs of the dragons. I love the idea of dragon racing. Heck, I love the small bit of story that I got from just the first couple minutes. But god, this show is ugly and poorly voice acted. The first 3 episodes ran at such a low frame rate that it looks like it was a poorly done slideshow, and the humans are the worst looking humans I've seen in 3D shows. Not counting parodies or ripoffs, obviously. The background music was fine, that's all I can really say. The show is just unwatchable to me. I can sit through bad looking shows to an extent. But this show is so ugly and has such a low frame rate. Heck, the 3D in the show looks worse than Get Ed, Galactic Football, and Monster Hunter Club. First time, it's even ugly. I try to sit through, but it just looks so bad and I can't stand it. If anyone does like this show, I apologize for ripping into it like this. If you like it, that's great. This is just my personal opinion.
Hey, missed a spot.
What? Oh, why do I always get stuck cleaning up after the dragons?
Because you're my little brother, Lance, and you love helping me.
I do? Wait. No, I don't.
Dad, I was just...
Powerful, proud, ink.
Captain Flamingo was aired from February 7th, 2006 till December 19th, 2010. It had 3 seasons and 52 episodes, 103 segments. It was created by Suzanne Bulch and John May. It is a fantasy, comedy, and children's show. This show is just a fun kids show, which I liked. The animation, while very, very simple, was charming in its own way. The voice acting is done well, and the characters are flat, but it works for a kids show. I really like this kids show for one major reason, though, and that reason is super simple. It's just the creativity and imagination used by a kid. I love shows that show kids how to use their imagination to have fun, because kids nowadays are sometimes just too focused on tablets. I know I sound old when I say using your imagination is fun. That's true. Using your imagination to create small stories, small alter egos, characters, and so on is very fun. And while you grow up, you might use your imagination more if you watch a show like this, or played a game like Mario Paint. I can recommend this show for kids, and I might go over it eventually in more detail.
Look, family, a new fashioned line of merry novelty items for the store. Sneezing powder. Very lively, eh, Milo?
He wants us to call him Flamingo Man from now on, dear.
No, Captain Flamingo.
Hey guys, you've reached the halfway point where I'm grabbing shows from Europe airings. Before this, it was co-produced European shows and American shows. Now, the rest of this will be some European shows, possibly India, Israel, Latin America, and United Kingdom shows. As I said from the start, I will not be grabbing shows from before 2004, as they aren't shows that started on Jetix in some way, shape, or form. If the show started in 2004 or in the middle of between 2004 and 2010, it will appear on this. But if it's from 2003 or earlier, I might go over them, but that's a very big might though. Subscribe. It only takes a second and it will help grow the channel. Now let's get back to the shows. Iggy Arbuckle aired from June 29th till October 10th, 2007. It had 26 episodes. It was created by Guy Velsklich. I said that wrong, I know. It is an animation and sitcom show. And we're on to another show that speaks about important special matters in the world, which is fine, but the Tofers did it. It was bad. Yet, surprisingly for this show, it's okay. It focuses more on nature and global warming, but it's done in a funny cartoon style. The characters are simple, but work nice for a kid's show. The animation has a lot put behind it. The voice acting is nice. I mean, there's nothing else I can say for the show, sadly. It's just an okay show with an important message for young kids. I probably won't watch it again, even if it's a super short show. I was getting a little bored by the 4th episode. If anyone likes it, that's great, but I am indifferent about it.
Stop it! Get out of the way!
Morning.
Iron Kid, or Yin Kid, was aired from April 6th till September 28th, 2006. It was aired first in South Korea. It had 26 episodes, but only 25 in America. I have no info on who created it. It is a science fiction, action, adventure, and superhero show. We're on to another 3D show. Is this one better looking than at least the last two were reviewed? Yes. Yet it just really feels off. The animation is really nice, but is really basic and plain. Get Ed, even if it had similar characters design look-wise, did have more of a background and interesting scenery. In this show, it is a desert and they fight robots. So it's honestly a little more plain and boring. But that's just the animation. Is anything else good? The music is decent, the voice acting ranges from bad to good, the small story is simple but nice over the handful of episodes I watched. The show is a basic superhero show in a way, but that doesn't take away from how decent it is. I might come back to this one.
I wish we could just disappear. You must have taken a wrong turn, Marty. Hurry, think of something.
There was a bridge here before. There really was.
That's it. Time to kiss my tail goodbye. We're doomed. You and your brilliant ideas.
Sad. Trap like rats. And you know what we do with rats around here?
Marty, hurry, think of something. Anything.
Buttons.
That's not what I meant.
Anything?
Not again! I hate heights! I gotta be sick!
Imagination aired from September 22nd, 2007 until November 15, 2010. It was first aired in Canada. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes. It was created by Shelley Hoffman and Robert Pancombe, based on the card game Imagination Duel. It is a fantasy and adventure show. Now, this show is just a ripoff of Digimon. At least in my opinion, I can give it credit for a couple things like the animation, the voice acting, the music, and the very great idea of having monsters made out of the character's imagination. It's just a ripoff of Digimon. The main character gets sent to another world to help save it. To make it even more of a ripoff, the monsters can talk, just like a Digimon. To the show's credit, probably will watch it again just because it looks interesting, even if it is a ripoff. Yet there's one thing for sure, this show's premise is unimaginative. Yeah, I'll see myself out.
With this animite, I imagine Farah.
Planet Sketch was aired from September 10th, 2005 till December 30th, 2007. It was first aired in the United Kingdom. It had 2 seasons and 39 episodes. It was created by Nelson Shin. Or at least that's what it says. I don't know. The wiki has info saying it was created by Nelson Shin, but I have no clue if this is 1 or 2 people. It is an animated television series, sketch comedy, and slapstick show. I legit don't have much to say about the show. It's just a sketch show. Each episode has different sketches with reoccurring animated cast members. It's basically just all that, or SNL, but animated. It kind of mirrors the style of Mad Cartoons series, though, even though the cartoon series came out after this. If you like sketch shows and random humor, then you'll like this show.
Oh no! My fish finger's still frozen in the middle. What am I going to do? It's Ninja Handyman! Delish! Thanks, Ninja Handyman!
Ninja plus blowtorch! Taste sensation!
Will the Quest aired from March 15, 2008 till June 29, 2009. It was first aired in Canada. It had 2 seasons and 26 episodes, 50 segments. It was created by Jason Cruz, Based on a graphic novel series, it is a sci-fi comedy action and adventure show. This show is a bit odd, but I enjoy it. The animation is simple but nice, the voice acting is good, the characters are enjoyable, and the show has a lot of heart. Not much else I can say, other than a good show with interesting settings and characters. I'll come back to this show for sure.
Not giving up that easy. Quest, as principal this year, I order you to come with us.
Now again, time for a short break. I want to inform everyone that I am being a bit stupid, and just noticed it while writing the script that some of these shows air on Cartoon Network or another show before it aired on Jetix. As I said, I'm going through all program listings, and this includes Europe and so on. So if any shows on this list are from other companies and I screwed up, I apologize, but I'm trying to go over it all. Back to the video now. So being 100% truthful here, I watched 2 minutes of this show, maybe, and no, it's worse than Dragon Boosters. I can at least see why people like Dragon Boosters. This show looks like ass. The noises are off from the animation, the music is no. I don't know what to say. I think this wins as the worst show I've seen from Jetix, and I thought Tofu would keep that role. It's just so poorly made. The story even sounds boring as hell, so nothing could keep me looking at the ugly as hell characters from the show. If you like this show, go ahead and like it, but I am not going to sit here and torture myself when I'm already 14 pages into the script. I'll show you the part of the show I saw, and we're going on to the next one.
Who didn't refill the juice jug?
Yeah, I always refill the juice. I love juice. No, I respect it. More importantly, it respects me.
Code name for a highly trained special mission force. Its objective, stop Cobra, stop Cobra.
G.I. Joe Sigma 6 was aired from September 10th, 2005 till October 28th, 2006. It had 26 episodes. It was licensed by Hasbro. It is an action, military, and science fiction show. This show is awesome. Animation, characters, story, and even the music is perfect for it. Sure, it may have a super simple premise that has happened ever since G.I. Joe started, but it does have good characters and animation. Another thing that's great about this show, it has a mix of 2D and 3D animation. And unlike something like Galactic Football, it isn't too noticeable most of the time. They blend 3D into 2D almost seamlessly most of the time. A show I can recommend for anyone that enjoys explosions or just over-the-top action, but also a show I can recommend for the story.
Whoa, man! I need a break.
How can you be tired already? You started helping me only 2 minutes ago, Tunnel Rat.
I have to save my energy. You never know when Cobra could launch an attack.
The Owl aired from May 5th, 2006 till July 12th, 2007. It was aired first in France, it had 54 one-minute segments. It was created by Alexandre So. It is a comedy show. There's not much to say about this one. Owl gets thrown into slapstick situations it doesn't want to be in, and at the end of each episode they end up dismembered in some way. I would feel bad, but this Owl seems like an absolute prick. The show is simple and very early cartoon-like. It's pretty okay. No, not again. I refuse. No. No. I am not talking about no one of these horrible looking shows. This looks like one of those bootleg movies. For the respect of the people who made this show, I will not say their name of anyone who made it. If someone liked this show, I would be shocked, but it's your opinion. I just can't sit through watching this show. This was made in 2007, so it has no right to look like this.
Well, you're the one that hid it. I was sure I put it in the far corner under that box there.
Chaotic aired from October 7th, 2006 till March 13th, 2010. It had 3 seasons and 79 episodes. It was created by Merlin P. Mann and Martin Ralph. It is based on the Danish card game of the same name. It is an adventure, science, fantasy, and action show. The show is great. Decent animation style that was similar to 16, creative idea for a card-based show, and decent characters. Most I can call this is a ripoff of Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it does have its own identity. The story is completely different. The way battles go is different. The art style is very different. I can't say much else. The show was a fun watch, and I'll check it out again. Dinosaur King aired from February 4th, 2007 till August 31st, 2008. It had 2 seasons and 49 episodes. It is based off of a card-based arcade game. It is a sci-fi adventure comedy, at least in my opinion. This is an anime that is just a Pokemon ripoff, but unlike Imagination, I can actually see love put into it in some way. Imagination felt a tad bit lazy and unimaginative, keeping the same plot of character entering the world to save it. Dinosaur King does something similar to Pokemon, where characters try to become the Dinosaur King. Yet unlike Pokemon, the kids aren't trying to be Dinosaur Kings. They're just having fun and collecting the dinosaurs and using them in battle. Not to mention, it has a completely different mechanics for the battles. It's just enough to make it not a full ripoff, but its own thing. The animation is good when 2D, the voice acting is amazing, and the soundtrack is cool. I'll still say this is a ripoff, but it's at least trying to be its own thing, having a fun game on a DS made for it even. I'm definitely coming back to the show at some point.
Someone help me! I don't want to be a dino dinner! It's you? Yes, get off of me! Why are you laughing behind my back?
Nothing behind your back is funny.
Tell him.
You tell him.
What is so funny?
It's because everyone now knows you got a soft spot for Helga.
You better hope Helga doesn't see this or else. Knock off of my seat cover.
I apologize if I was a little rough on Imagination, but it just didn't feel like it was trying to be its own thing. It had mainly Digimon-based stuff. If you guys want to see me talk about Imagination and Dinosaur King more, tell me in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Grossology aired from September 29, 2006 till October 24, 2009. It was aired first in Canada. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes. It was created by Sylvia Brenzi. It is an action-adventure, comedy, and science fantasy show. The show was okay. It's a kids show based around gross things like bugs, slime, and the like. It's not bad animation-wise, the voice acting is fine. I can't say much else. It's an okay kids show that actually has backstories for villains that add to the show and make it feel like a more important show than it is.
Timmy here is a subterranean worker termite. Aren't you, Timmy?
Timmy? Are you sure you can handle 2 pets?
What's the problem? Hermes and Timmy get along just fine. Okay, there's a bunch of things you need to know about subterranean termites. First, they come in a bunch of different types. We call them castes. At the top, we've got the queen. She gives all the orders. Since nothing happens in the colony unless she says so.
Huntic Secrets and Seekers aired from January 12, 2009 till December 11th, 2011. It was first aired in Italy. It had 2 seasons and 52 episodes. It was created by Inigo Straffi. It is an action-adventure and fantasy show. Finally, on the last show, and this show is pretty cool. A combination of superpowers and Pokemon. It's kind of odd, but it works perfectly. It is an interesting show, it looks good, it has great voice acting, has fun characters, having a decent story. Most I can say is that I'll eventually go over the show.
Vai, Ogre Frost!
E quello chi è? Guai, Temo, sta attento! Ma è un folle!
Puoi dirlo forte.
Prendete il diario, usate i vostri poteri.
Look, va via! Ora!
Onto some honorable mentions. These are shows I wanted to talk about, but couldn't, either due to the time frame it was released, the language it was, or aired on our network. Sonic X, Hamtaro, and Kirby Right Back Atcha are the shows I wanted to cover, but I can't due to the time frames. Shows like Goosebumps, Lazy Town, and Spider-Man are some shows I couldn't go over due to other networks. Finally, I couldn't go over Arayman, Brahmad Ka Yoda, and Hiro Bahaki Hi Shakati Hai, as they are both in different languages and I obviously don't understand them, so I can't go over them. I very much apologize for butchering those names. Jetix fully ended on August 10th, 2010. Jetix left behind a good variety of shows and a legion of fans. Yet Jetix didn't fully go away. Instead, it became Disney XD. Jetix will always be in the mind of former fans everywhere, though. Before I end off this already huge video, I'm going to go over every show and rank them from worst to best in my opinion. Yet, to make this more interesting, I will have to say one thing I like and dislike about every show. Let's start with number 30. 30th place, Jibber Jabber. One thing I liked about it is the 2D title cards. One thing I disliked was the Disney bootleg animation. 29th, Urban Vermin. One thing I liked about the show was certain set designs. One thing I disliked was the very ugly characters. 28th, Monster Blaster Club. One thing I liked was the alien designs. One thing I disliked was how ugly the show looked. 27th, The Tofus. One thing I liked was the animation. One thing I disliked was the setup for the show. 26th, Planet Sketch. One thing I liked was the ninja handyman sketches. One thing I disliked was the animation. 25th, The Owl. One thing I liked was the pleasant and simple animation. One thing I disliked was how short the episodes were. 24th, Dragon Boosters. One thing I liked was the idea of the story. One thing I disliked was the art style and animation. 23rd, Iggy Arbuckle. One thing I liked was the animation. One thing I disliked was how boring and slow it felt. 22nd, Shuriken School. One thing I liked was the voice acting, even if it was super small. One thing I disliked is how simple the show was, even if it was charming and fun. 21st, Monster Warriors. One thing I liked about the show was how the creatures existed. One thing I disliked was the bad CGI, even if it's entertaining to look at. 20th, Grossology. One thing I liked about it was the backstory of the villains. One thing I disliked was some of the characters. 19th, Iron Kid. One thing I liked about it was the story. One thing I disliked was how barren and empty it felt. 18th, Captain Flamingo. One thing I liked about this show was how it focused on the imagination of kids. One thing I disliked was how everything was solved in the show, which was by accident. 17th, Imagination. One thing I liked was the interesting creature designs. One thing I disliked was how much of a soulless ripoff it felt. 16th, Galactic Football. One thing I liked about it was the story. One thing I disliked was the 3D animation scenes. 15th, Get Ed. One thing I liked was the characters. One thing I disliked was the cookie cutter villain. Now that I have made it halfway through, I need to go over 2 things I liked and 2 things I disliked to make it more interesting. 14th, Dinosaur King. The 2 things I liked were the voice actors and the cute dinosaur designs. The 2 things I disliked were the cookie cutter Pokemon-like premises and 3D fight scenes. 13th, Pucca. The 2 things I liked were the animation and fast-paced nature of the show. The 2 things I disliked was a very small amount of voice acting in a couple of characters. 12th, Combo Niños. The 2 things I liked were the creative dual powers that each hero had, and I liked the representation of Latin America. The 2 things I disliked were some of the voice acting and the intro. 11th, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. The 2 things I liked about the show were the animation and the simple but interesting story. The 2 things I disliked were a couple of the characters and how dumb some of the characters are. 10th, Chaotic. The 2 things I liked about the show were the interesting story and how the characters do battle. The 2 things I disliked were the 16 style animation, as it's too stiff, and I disliked how one character was. 9th, Huntic. The 2 things I liked were the fun and interactive story and the animation. The 2 things I disliked were the weird and off villain and the boring plot of I need to find my dad or something like that. 8th, World of Quest. The 2 things I liked were the animation and variety of characters. The 2 things I disliked were the intro and some of the cheesy dialogue. 7th, G.I. Joe Sigma 6. The 2 things I liked about the show were the animations and characters. The 2 things I disliked about the show were the cliffhanger and episodes and the fact that the villain is the same as always for G.I. Joe standards. 6th, Jimmy Two Shoes. The 2 things I liked were the animation and the setup for the show. The 2 things I disliked were some of the cheesy jokes and the way Jimmy was treated sometimes. We're on to the final 5. 5th, Oban Star-Racers. Two things I liked were the animation and the story. The two things I disliked was some of the voice acting and certain characters. Fourth, ATOM. The two things I liked were the interesting animation style and the characters. The two things I disliked was the terrible plot of losing a parent and no backstory for most characters. Third, Kid vs. Kat. The two things I liked were the animation and the Tom and Jerry-like setup for the show. The two things I disliked were most of the characters and the fact that the episodes felt too short for how fast it goes. Second, W.I.T.C.H. The two things I liked about the show were the characters and the story. The two things I disliked was the normal settings and how stupid some of the characters were. First was Yin Yang Yo. The two things I liked about the show were the detailed animation and characters. Two things I disliked was the basic plots and the villains are a bit bland. Finally, the rankings are done. Certain positions of certain shows can be swapped around in my opinion, but most of them are where I want them. Yet I would like to know where your list would be. If you've seen all or at least most of these shows and have an idea of how you'd rank them, tell me in the description below. This video may be long, but I think it was worth to show everyone an old show block. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yet, I think it's finally time to get going. Thank you all for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, like and subscribe. Then comment to say you made it to the end. Until then, log on.